I'd like to think that when people these days look at other people going crazy over things like Missing No or Mew being in Pokemon or Luigi in Super Mario 64, that they think we're all insane, and I'm not going to argue against them. I don't like to brag, but I do see a psychiatrist on a regular basis. Although I haven't for like the last 2 months or so that's probably not good. Personal problems aside, the people who view others as crazy skeptics, I assume, don't really have any reference for that time frame. Also, as you can see, I'm setting up the video subject with this intro, so bear with me. You see, for those of you who aren't initiated, the 90s were a mythical era, where anything could happen. Want a show about talking dinosaurs? Well, the 90s are your friend. Your creepy friend that your parents are never going to let you invite over, but a friend nonetheless. Anything seemed possible because we, or I, was stupid, and we, or I, didn't understand how everything worked back then, or that there were limits to anything in the realms of games, or life for that matter. I mean, sure, we know now that something like Missing No is nothing but a glitch, but before we had that information readily available anytime we wanted it, Missing No, along with Mew and other Pokemon that are mostly fake, were among another rank. The rank of the PokeGods. And that's what we'll be talking about today. I originally brought up the concept of PokeGods and the Missing No gaming mysteries I did a couple of years ago, and since I find the topic interesting, and it's been a while since we've talked about something of this nature, why the hell not? Today on Gaming Mysteries, I'll be talking about the PokeGods. Now before we get into this, I must say that years ago there were a lot of sites with information about the fabled PokeGods. I even came across some when I was working on that Missing No video, because he is considered a PokeGod, so why wouldn't I get directed towards that shit? The presence of PokeGod sites these days is pretty minimal though, and some of the ones with the more dumb, made-up information are gone, but luckily that information has been compiled on a very handy website, or at least 2 handy websites, but mostly one in my book, but kinda 2. Of course, there's Bulbapedia, but more importantly, there's Rage Candy Bar, which I'm going to go ahead and link both these pages in the description, but Rage Candy Bar has pretty much all the information on the subject that you could ever possibly want to find. It's like reading through my childhood, except less depressing, which is really neat, especially that less depressing part. So if you find the concept that I'm talking about in this video interesting, the whole PokeGod thing, and you want to read up on more of it, I implore you, at least check out Rage Candy Bar. It's a really good read. A very long, really good read. And with that said, let's get into this. So by now, I imagine the unaware are desperate to know what a PokeGod is. And the PokeGods were rumored godlike Pokemon that were said to be ridiculously powerful and very hard to come by, super rare. They were born from rumors that spread by mouth and eventually through the internet. And they were lies, mostly. The idea of PokeGods was a means to make sense out of the stuff that no one really knew the truth about at the time. Why Mew wasn't normally accessible in the game, and what exactly Missing No and his glitch family's true form was, or what the identity of these new mysterious Pokemon that are shown and talked about briefly in a magazine, but that's all the information you're gonna get. And who was that bird at the end of the first episode of the anime? And yeah, I know, it's Ho-Oh, but I didn't know back then. Who are these weird fucking hybrid Pokemon that were in the anime? Are they real? Were they in the games? And of course, there are the PokeGods that are just kinda made up, which are always the best ones, and ends up being most of them, so pretty good. And since no one really knew one way or another what the reality of the situation was, or if they did, they weren't talking about it very loudly, you just kind of had to go with it, and what things people said, because why wouldn't you? You couldn't disprove it, and thus began a wild goose chase that is performing all these weird-ass, highly overcomplicated, repetitive methods of unlocking Pokemon that no sane human being should ever put themselves through. Heed my words, or you're going to end up like me. Is that what you want? Now, I don't want anyone to worry because we're going to be going over some of these insane methods to unlock the fake PokeGods later in the video, but for now I'd like to talk about some of the key PokeGods that represent the different PokeGod origins and categories. So let's go ahead and talk about a bunch of PokeGods. First, of course, we have who is considered to be the first PokeGod, except not by me, Mew. And Mew seemed the most legit out of everything else I had seen because I knew he was a Pokemon, I saw the first movie, and I saw that scene where they brought Ash back to life by crying, which was lame as fuck, and I knew that some people had Mew because I saw pictures of it. I just didn't know where I could get a Mew. But I knew he was a thing that might be hiding under a truck for some stupid reason. Again, later in the video, methods, insane. A PokeGod I was less familiar with, but oh so intrigued by, the one I think is the first PokeGod, was Ho-Oh, or flying thing at the end of the first episode of the anime, as I so elegantly like to call it. Now, Ho-Oh is fascinating because it's one of the first Pokemon I ever saw, because it was in the first episode of the anime. Yet, could I find it in the game? No, but people had ideas as to what it was. Some thought it was an evolved form of Moltres, or Missing No, or a secret 4th legendary bird Pokemon, but you can only find it in the magical fabled Japanese green version of the game. Now, while on the subject of segueing into other things, next of course we have Missing No, which I remember people telling me that it was really a removed legendary bird Pokemon, which I thought seemed believable because it is a flying type, and of course I had seen Ho-Oh in the anime and heard about it being Missing No, so I was on board, but 'twas not the case. Aside from Missing No, its gang of other glitched Pokemon were also considered PokeGods. A number of Game Shark codes existed that said they'd unlock some rare Pokemon, and its sprite would be something like the fossil for Aerodactyl, or Kabutops, or this ghost, or this fucking horrible mess from Pokemon Yellow. Oh, it's great. Of course, they all had wacky names like Anthrax, which I think that Pokemon might have been an entire band, and Mysterio, and Cyber, and Cybird. I didn't say they were good, I said they were wacky. But among this list, there were 2 names that ended up playing a much larger role than I think anyone intended, and those names were Doomsay and Doomsday. And talking about Doomsay and Doomsday will be a good transition into some of the made-up Pokemon / PokeGods. Well, thought to be different forms of Missing No on early websites that predate the actual Game Shark codes, the names Doomsay and Doomsday appear in lists of supposed American names for the new Pokemon for Gold and Silver, along with more stupid names like Psych, which is actually a pretty great name, all things considered, given the circumstances, Nidogod, and Pika-Blue, which is really Meryl, but it was thought to be some water evolution for Pikachu, and yeah, I fell for it, but back to this Doom thing. Now, since both those names were appearing on lists of supposedly real Pokemon for the new games, it seemed to add credence to them being real PokeGods, or at the very least real Pokemon, despite the sprites for them not really matching the tone of Pokemon at all. Of course, now it's easy to see that these two are just fake, but with such a detailed history that in itself could be a video, which is why I won't go fully in depth on them. Again, that website, you should go check it out and you'll see what I mean. These are 2 of the most important made-up Pokemon / PokeGods out there. So let's follow that up with one of the least important made-up PokeGods, Mew 3, also known as Mewtwo wearing armor from the first movie, and I think 1 episode of the anime. And even though some would recognize that it's just Mewtwo wearing armor, still, they call it Mew 3. So, that's special and kind of dumb. And to add to the fake Pokemon / PokeGods list, we have the anime-only Pokemon, like this rumored evolution for Onix named Daimonix, and Venustoise, this fusion between Venusaur and Blastoise. And speaking of fusions, when making up things, why not have it fuse with other things for some stupid reason? Because of people seeing things like Venustoise, a combination of 2 Pokemon in the anime, it of course started the idea of merging Pokemon together to make them all goddish. A lot of these merged PokeGods are just fucking ridiculous, and the info about how to unlock them borders on reading a shitty creepypasta, and that goes for all the fake codes and cheats and methods to unlocking them and all that good stuff. And you'll see what I mean pretty soon, though. I'm going to be reading some of those later in the video, so yeah. Anyways, stupid merged Pokemon gods, and I'm going to warn you, these names are pretty dumb, and my username is Yuriofwind, so you know I'm serious. I'm going to go ahead and put the names of the PokeGods on the screen so you can see for yourself. You can be the judge. But don't expect anything too impressive or creative, because this is pretty much the opposite of both those things. But we have such classic God-merged Pokemon like Arctic Zapmutress. Obviously a combination of Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, and Mewtwo. There's of course Super Charstoise, a merged Charizard and Blastoise, and it's super for some reason. And Mew 3, which you're never gonna fucking guess which 2 Pokemon that asshole is made of. It's Mew and Mewtwo, by the way, but more importantly, there's Stonebro. Now, Stonebro is what you get if you were to merge a Slowbro, Butterfree, Beedrill, Articuno, Jinx, and a Golem together, which I'm going to assume that just looks fucking horrible, though it does have me wondering how exactly these guys are fusing together. I imagine duct tape, but that doesn't seem very practical. Now, there are some theories, though, of how Pokemon merge, which really seems like conception more than anything else. You're going to see soon enough, because I'm going to talk about those hot tips on how to unlock these sweet, awesome Pokemon. Those are up next, by the way, as I've run through all the PokeGods I wanted to run through. There are more, though. Again, website, you should go look. But now, hot tips. So, the people who made up these ways to unlock things that aren't actually real or in the game or anything like that are kind of assholes. So, I guess I'm stupid for falling for it in the first place. So, maybe we're going to split the blame on this one. But you're still assholes, and so am I. I love you. All of these methods are pretty much insane. Reading these is like I'm having a flashback to Nom, and it's just trucks and Mew and Luigi's everywhere. So much wasted time. I could have been watching Kamen Rider. But wait just a second. Before you go off looking for the PokeGods, it's important that you know that people made up other stuff too. Stuff like there being a secret garden behind Bill's house where you would find hidden grass where all the PokeGods flocked and played. Basically any grass that you can't access normally was automatically considered PokeGod land. Now, there are some methods to unlocking the PokeGods, the more standard methods. There's, of course, the boring-ass catch 150 Pokemon method, the beat the Elite Four a lot method, rumors of hidden evolution stones like the Mist Stone that was said to evolve any Pokemon, even those that were at their final stage of evolution, and secret HMs that would give you moves that would let you get into the, and prepare yourselves, the secret PokeGod cities. But maybe you didn't need those HMs, as one of my favorite methods shows, which I'm going to go ahead and read it, and then you'll start to understand why I mentioned creepypasta earlier. And I'm going to go ahead and quote these word for word, because why ruin a good thing? There are such things as PokeGods. To get them, beat the Elite Four 30 times without talking to anyone in between the nurse at the Poke Center at Indigo Plateau, or whatever it is. See, this method is so fucking secret that the author isn't sure what to do. Anyways, on the 30th times, you guys, Professor Oak will say, "I'm getting tired of this," and he will let you walk around the Hall of Fame, which leads to a new city where people will swap PokeGods, which I imagine is like a key party, and why wouldn't I? Rule 34 is a bitch. But I guess we should talk about the ways in which to obtain these actual PokeGods, I guess. Of course, we gotta start with Mew, because that bastard racked my brain, because I knew he was in the game, but I didn't know where he was. So I turned to these sweet cheat codes to find Mew. The most well-known unlock Mew code method involved this majestic truck that's located in an area that you wouldn't be able to get a truck on without first moving it on the boat, and then moving the truck onto the land where it can't escape. And at that point, the whole thing just seems really pointless. Point is, people said Mew was hiding under the truck, and why a truck? Because wouldn't you? That's the last place people would think to look. And when they do look, they'll find out nothing is there. And, of course, that's where the deep depression sets in. Next up we have, hey, beat the Elite Four a lot, and then they'll give you a Mew, or maybe they won't, and Professor Oak will give you one after you catch all the other Pokemon in the world, or so they say. But it's more likely than not only available in the mystical Japanese American blue version. Liars. Now for the remainder of these insane methods, I'll mainly be talking about how to unlock the merged Pokemon, because out of everything I've read, that's the dumbest shit, and by default it makes it the most appealing to me. So let's learn, you and me, just the two of us, right now. I'm going to teach you the ways of merged Pokemans. To start, I think it's only fair that I finally explain how the merging process works, and it's best described by the method in which to unlock Ratichu, a mix between Pikachu and Raticate. To quote the brave soul who discovered him, "Ratichu, yes it is real," which already he's pretty defensive, but whatever, I believe you. "To get this Pokemon, have a Raticate and a Pikachu in your Pokemon group. Only these two, then leave the game on for an hour, come back, and Pikachu will be sick. Take him to the Poke Center, and he will have a baby. He will have a baby." Creepypastas. Oh, but the baby is called Ratichu. Its number is 163. Thank you, random number. Of course, not all conception has to involve birth, or Raticates, especially not Raticates, because to unlock Arctic Zap Mutress, All you need to do is play the Poke Flute in the exact center of Saffron City, and then Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, and Mewtwo will come together to form a stupid name. If no one has noticed yet, these names are all just shitty combinations of all the fused Pokemon's names, and they're put together. Now we mustn't forget that not all methods are going to be easy either. Mew 3 will not show himself so easily. You need to get a Mewtwo and a Mew and level them up to 100 and rest at Ash's house, and they both combine into Mew 3. Now the trick with this cheat is that you need to somehow travel into another dimension, that of the Pokemon anime, so have fun with that. If you could figure out why Brock's eyes are always closed, I'd really appreciate it. Some PokeGods have handy step-by-step instructions for those of you who are easily confused. Venuso, oh god, stupid names, god damn it, is one such PokeGod. That's right, I'm not going to re-record it. Fuck it, time to read. Number 1, get all 150 out of 151 Pokemon. Forget about that last one. 2, beat the Elite Four 14 times in a row for some stupid reason. 3, fight 40 wild Pokemon and faint them all because you're a jerk. 5, go to Professor Oak and he will give you his book, the one where he hides his liquor. 6, throw it at the teleporter in Bill's house and it will explode. Wait, what the fuck kind of leap in logic is this? Also, what's the book made of? If you made the never mind. 7, go to the back of the house into Bill's garden. There will be a path. 8, walk all the way to the end and you will find a Pokeball containing Venuso, which I gotta say, that's fairly anticlimactic and a pretty dick move. You blew up a man's house to frolic through the flowers and steal something. You're a dick. But of course, not all PokeGods are created equal. Some of the best, and the best is Mellow Mageticuno. God damn it. 5% Magmar, 5% Articuno, 90% stupid name. And everyone is going to want to hold on to their seats for this one, because it's a barn burner, and it's really long. And again, quoting and making fun of it, I guess. Now, to get a Mellow Mageticuno, the most powerful Pokemon ever, / PokeGod, he can only be found once, and that's in the Rock Tunnel. You cannot use Flash, because I said so. Mallow Magilla, I hate his name. I'm just going to call him Uno, because that's the end of his name, and it's short and less stupid. Uno is a Poison, Ice, Fire type Pokemon. Go ahead and try and figure out how that works. Walk around until an Onix appears. He must then be followed by a Zubat, which this is Pokemon, so of course it's going to be followed by a Zubat. But then the Zubat must be followed by a Paris, and then a Geodude, and all these must be at least 10 steps apart, which my brain is currently melting as I soak all this in, just in case anyone was wondering. When you see him, do not run! Fantastic advice. He is a level 90 Pokemon, but just, one word, putting him to sleep will let you capture him with an Ultra Ball. He attacks with moves like Fissure, Crumble, Fireball, Ice Dance, and brace yourselves, Mellow Mageticuno, Kill. Inventive move names isn't coming to mind right now. But this isn't the end of the story, because someone else wrote something too. All new secret Pokemon, which nothing says secret like caps lock. Secret unknown Pokemon in Rock Tunnel. Do not use Flash, again, and head up left. If you get to the right place, you will be attacked, which, thank you for being so fucking specific. This Pokemon will come in the form of Onix, Geodude, or Zubat, which is convenient and lazy, though I can't imagine someone not wanting a Zubat as their secret god Pokemon. But Zubat is going to use moves like Fog, Transform, Henshin, Haze, and Ghost. Henshin wasn't a move, actually, but, Kamen Rider. It's like the third time I've mentioned it this video. Maybe I'll mention it in End Slate. We'll see. But anyways, he has a level of 82, so be careful. It only appears once. I think overall the first story was much better because I'm so fucking tired of Zubats, which is a great note to end this video on. But those were the PokeGods, or some of them. The general idea, my ramblings, you get the idea. As I said in the beginning, people may think that it's stupid to obsess over these kinds of things, and it may in fact be stupid, but that's how things were. games used to have so much more mystery behind them. You didn't know much about its origins or how games worked, so as far as you were concerned, anything could happen. Anything goes. Kamen Rider O's, goddammit, 4th time! I didn't view Missing No as a glitch, so much as a gateway to all the would-be deep, dark secrets of Pokemon, and not knowing the limits of the game brought a lot to the experience, and sadly that's something that doesn't really exist anymore, as all information you could ever want to find is a click away, which, I'm not going to complain about that. Yay technology, you make things easier, but as far as video games are concerned, you still make things easier, but it definitely took some special thing away from the equation. Was it something that ruined modern gaming for me? Fuck no. I just spent the last hour trying to learn Dante combos again, and again, he has too many fucking special moves, I can't stand it. But the point is, I still love video games. It's just sad to see the mystery of it all continue to fade away as the years go by. Though, even if it's gone, the people who remember these things and talk about it, or write about it, keep part of that mystery alive. Even if it's only in a memory. This has been Gaming Mysteries. Thanks for watching.
This is just the beginning of the amazing adventures of Ash and Pikachu. Their journey is destined to be packed with non-stop action, millions of laughs, heart-pounding perils, and endless excitement. Together, they'll encounter fantastic friends, evil enemies, and meet creatures beyond their wildest imagination. And as their story unfolds, we'll unlock the magic and mystery of a most wondrous place, the incredible world of Pokemon.
Hey guys, welcome back to Slate. I'm Yuriofwind. You're gonna get Slated. I actually made a joke that I was gonna do Slate the series as a video, which I might do eventually, but I'm not really gonna. But hey, welcome to Slate. What's up? This is my YouTube Geek Week video that I'm posting after Geek Week. No, I was gonna do this regardless. I thought it would be fitting to release it during Geek Week. Just, it didn't happen. But I might be appearing in another video that also wasn't in Geek Week, but I can't tell you guys about that, but you'll see. Anyways, we just did a Gaming Mysteries on the PokeGods. I hope you enjoyed it. More importantly, I hope you enjoyed the ending. Which really, I didn't even want to put the end slate at the end of the video, but I thought people would bitch if I didn't. Because it was such a long video anyway, so I don't know. I'm just tacking on the end slate as always, but I like how I ended the video. I'm not saying I did anything impressive, I'm just saying it gives me the goosebumps. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the PokeGods video. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. So, that's great. But now it's time to do the end slate, where I recommend videos to you guys. First video I should recommend, I guess, would be the last one I did on the channel, which was a Gaming Mysteries on Super Smash Bros. Brawl beta thing. And, yeah, hope you enjoyed that. That was fighting game month. This didn't go over well at all, but Halloween special is going to be great. You'll see what I'm talking about when that starts. But, yeah, there's that video. The other video I'm going to recommend, a video from the gameplay channel, the Let's Play channel, whatever you want to call it, because I've been more active on there lately. The video I'm going to show for you guys is the one I recently put up, where I'm trying this new thing where I didn't know if you saw the end of the video, you know what I'm talking about, but I'm starting to put gameplay footage in 4:3 instead of 16:9. I don't want this to be an indicator that I'm going to be doing it for everything, or that I'll always do it, but if I think it looks nice, I'll do it. If I don't, I won't. Or if it's a pain in the ass, I won't. But, there you go. But there's that video. Let's play a Persona 3 Fez. People seem to like that part. I think maybe it's because I died within the first 3 minutes. Because of Junpei's sheer incompetence in that hat. Oh, but, yeah. Thing at the bottom of the thing. You can subscribe if you want, and if you don't want to, you don't have to. And if you like the video and you want to like it, you can like it, but if that was not the case, then you don't have to. Life is full of choices. I just say what they are. Yeah, that about sums it up, I'd say. I'm not on my end slate game today, mostly because I'm a little sleepy and I've been working on this fucking video. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time on End Slate. Who knows when or what the topic will be. Really, I don't know, because I'm working on the videos for the Halloween special, so I don't fuck it up like Fighting Game Month. So I'm like kind of doing it beforehand. I just don't. I don't know what the next video on this channel. It'll be something. It'll be. I'm not. You know. I'll think of something. But bye guys. Bye. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.